Hey, this is Chris, and we're looking at a landscape that was designed by an architect that clearly understood his plant species and did a great selection on that, and he understood the scale of materials, and in some contexts he chose some really great materials, but overall this is a complete fail because there was no need to use all of the same material on several thousand square feet of landscape. The value of this really beautiful river rock is lost when it's spread out throughout the entire landscape. We're in Provo, Utah at the Hyatt, and there are many beautiful rock materials that could have been used to complement this really gorgeous river rock. So you get a complete F on diversity of rock materials, leading to a very boring landscape. The next thing that landscape architects don't understand, and it's really strange because they campaign themselves to be very much the environmentalist, is weed fabric. Weed fabric never works, especially, okay, it never works unless there's a Bermuda grass lawn there before. Especially with river rock, where it's not going to pack down. River rock, because of its rounded edges, will always slide. So here we have weed fabric that's been cut open to place a boulder, and we have a really gorgeous staple sticking out. The other thing is, this is a landscape used with drip irrigation. If there's any servicing needing to be done here, all the drip irrigation will have to be pulled above the weed fabric, worked on, and then maybe, not in this case, it'll be put back below the weed fabric. So weed fabric, especially with river rock, is a horrible idea. I mean, it's generally a horrible idea anyways. See, this really beautiful river rock could have been highlighted much better by using some crushed rock of a different color, similar shade alongside of it. Further proof the weed fabric is a disaster with river rock. One, we have weeds growing, and two, the river rock slides off the weed fabric. Weed fabric does not prevent weeds from growing in a landscape. It just prevents weeds that were there on the ground from growing up immediately. But that can be treated with an herbicide or a pre-emergent. Wherever people walk during the course of this landscape, you're going to get a naked spot with weed fabric. And of course, the drip line, whenever it needs to be serviced. Landscape architects need to appreciate excellent weed control here, mare's tail coming on strong, and nakedness of the weed fabric. Landscape architects need to understand that as much as there's a diversity of plant material to work with, and this architect did a great job in choosing these different grasses, salvias, penstemons, that there's also a diversity of rock material to work with. River rocks, crushed rock, crushed stone fines, decomposed granite. See, over the next couple of years, this will become not the beautiful river rock landscape the architect intended, but it'll become the weed fabric landscape. And we can see weeds germinating just fine here. So, as much as there was this choice to find these beautiful, like, look at this really great sandstone boulder. Millions of years in the making. It could have been complemented with other rock materials. So, an A on the boulders, an A on the plants, and an F in execution through boring rock material overall and weed fabric.